Welcome to Whispered Tales, where we explore stories, tips, and techniques to help you grow. Today, we'll dive into how to never get angry again or be bothered by anyone, while also improving your English skills. Before we can learn how to never get angry or bothered by anyone, it's important to understand what anger really is. Anger is a natural human emotion, an automatic response to perceived threats, frustration, or injustice. Everyone experiences it, but what separates calm, confident people from others is how they respond to it. Anger often arises from triggers, which can be external, like someone cutting you off in traffic, or internal, like recalling a frustrating memory. Understanding your triggers is the first step in controlling them. When you know what situations, words, or actions push your buttons, you can prepare strategies to stay calm rather than reacting impulsively. Another key point is that anger is often linked to expectations and control. When we expect others to act a certain way and they don't, it creates frustration. Similarly, when we try to control situations or people beyond our reach, anger naturally follows. Learning to let go of unrealistic expectations and focus on what you can control is essential to emotional stability. The second step in never getting angry is developing self-awareness. Self-awareness means noticing your emotions, thoughts, and physical reactions before they spiral out of control. When you recognize that you're starting to feel irritated or annoyed, you gain the ability to pause and respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Start by observing your physical cues. Anger often shows up as a faster heartbeat, tense muscles, or shallow breathing. Once you notice these signs, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you have a choice in how you respond. This simple awareness can prevent anger from escalating. Next, reflect on your thoughts and beliefs. Ask yourself, why is this bothering me? Often, our anger is fueled by assumptions, misunderstandings, or overthinking. By identifying the underlying thought patterns, you can challenge them and shift your perspective. For example, instead of thinking, "She's deliberately trying to annoy me," consider, "Maybe she's having a bad day." This reframing reduces emotional intensity. Another tip is journaling your feelings. Writing down your triggers, reactions, and reflections helps you understand recurring patterns. Over time, you'll start noticing which situations consistently provoke anger and can develop strategies to handle them calmly. Self-awareness doesn't eliminate anger instantly, but it gives you control and clarity, allowing you to respond calmly and confidently in any situation. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to prevent anger is through deep breathing and relaxation techniques. When you start feeling irritated, your body goes into a fight or flight mode. Heart rate increases, muscles tense, and thoughts become reactive. Deep breathing helps calm your nervous system and gives your mind a moment to regain control. Start with slow, deep breaths. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts, hold for 4, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 counts. Repeat this for a few minutes. This slows your heart rate, relaxes tense muscles, and reduces the immediate intensity of anger. Next, practice progressive muscle relaxation. Gently tense and release different muscle groups, shoulders, neck, jaw, while focusing on your breath. This method not only reduces physical tension, but also signals your brain to shift from reactive mode to calm mode. Another technique is visualization. Imagine yourself in a peaceful place, like a quiet beach or a green forest. Picture the stress and anger leaving your body with each exhale. Visualization combined with deep breathing strengthens your ability to stay calm in real-life triggering situations. Finally, make these exercises a daily habit, not just a reaction to anger. Even 5 to 10 minutes of mindful breathing and relaxation every day improves emotional resilience, making it much easier to remain unbothered and composed no matter what others say or do. A powerful way to avoid anger is by changing the way you perceive situations and people. Often we get upset not because of what happened, but because of how we interpret it. By shifting your perspective, you can respond calmly and even turn frustrating situations into opportunities for growth. Start by asking yourself questions when you feel irritation building. Is this worth my energy? Or will this matter in a week, a month, or a year? Many times the answer is no, and realizing that immediately reduces the intensity of anger. Next, consider alternative explanations for people's behavior. Instead of assuming someone is being rude or intentional, think maybe they are stressed, tired, or distracted. This simple mental shift prevents you from reacting emotionally and allows you to respond with understanding or neutrality. Another technique is to focus on solutions instead of problems. Anger often comes from feeling powerless. By asking, "What can I do to improve this situation?" you shift your energy from frustration to action, which is empowering and calming. Finally, adopt a long-term perspective. Ask yourself whether holding on to anger serves you in any way. Usually, it drains your energy and affects your peace of mind. Choosing to let go and focus on positive or productive actions strengthens emotional control and helps you remain unbothered by others. A powerful way to never get angry is emotional detachment, not in the sense of being cold or uncaring, but in learning to separate yourself from situations and people that trigger frustration. Emotional detachment allows you to observe events without taking them personally, which reduces the likelihood of anger. Start by recognizing what is truly yours to control. You cannot control other people's words, actions, or attitudes, but you can control your response. Remind yourself, their behavior reflects them, not me. This mindset helps you stay calm even when others act provocatively. Next, practice pausing before reacting. When someone irritates you, take a mental step back. Breathe, count to 10, or even excuse yourself briefly. This gives you the space to respond rationally instead of impulsively, which is a hallmark of confident, unbothered individuals. Another tip is visualizing a protective bubble around yourself. Imagine that negative comments, rude gestures, or stressful situations bounce off this bubble. This visualization reinforces emotional separation and strengthens your inner calm. Finally, understand that detachment is a skill that develops over time. You will occasionally feel irritation or anger, and that's normal. What matters is that you train yourself to notice it, pause, and choose a calm response instead of reacting automatically. With consistent practice, emotional detachment becomes natural, helping you remain peaceful regardless of external circumstances. Mindfulness is a key tool to never get angry or bothered by anyone. It's the practice of being fully present in the moment, observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. By staying mindful, you notice rising irritation early and prevent it from controlling your reactions. Start by focusing on your breath. Pay attention to each inhale and exhale, letting go of racing thoughts. Even a minute of mindful breathing during a stressful moment can calm your mind and prevent an angry reaction. Next, practice observing your thoughts and emotions. Instead of saying, "I'm angry because of him," try, "I notice that anger is arising." This subtle shift creates a mental distance between you and your emotions, giving you the power to respond calmly. Another tip is observing sensations in your body. tension in the shoulders, jaw clenching, or a rapid heartbeat are early signs of anger. Mindfulness helps you identify these cues early so you can take a pause and reset before emotions escalate. Finally, make mindfulness a daily habit. Short meditation sessions, mindful walks, or even mindful eating improve your overall emotional resilience. Over time, you naturally react to challenges with calmness, staying unbothered and composed in any situation. Your inner dialogue has a huge impact on how easily you get angry. Negative self-talk like "this always happens to me" or "I can't handle this" amplifies frustration, while positive self-talk helps you stay calm and in control. Learning to talk to yourself kindly is a major step toward never getting angry. Start by noticing your thoughts. When you feel irritation building, ask yourself, "What am I telling myself right now?" Awareness is the first step toward change. Next, reframe negative thoughts into empowering ones. For example, instead of thinking, "Why does he have to annoy me?" say, "I choose not to let this affect me." This simple mental shift reduces emotional reactivity and keeps your focus on what matters. Another technique is to use affirmations. Short statements like, "I remain calm and unbothered," "I control my reactions," or "I choose peace" can be repeated daily or before stressful situations. Over time, these affirmations strengthen your ability to remain composed automatically. Finally, pair positive self-talk with breathing and mindfulness. Together, they form a powerful combination that allows you to observe situations objectively, respond calmly, and maintain inner peace even when others try to provoke you. Holding on to grudges or past offenses is one of the fastest ways to stay angry or bothered. To remain calm, it's essential to practice forgiveness, not for others, but for yourself. Letting go frees your mind from unnecessary stress and emotional weight. Start by recognizing the cost of holding anger. Anger and resentment drain your energy, affect your health, and prevent you from focusing on positive aspects of life. Ask yourself, is holding on to this helping me? Usually the answer is no. Next, reframe the situation. Instead of thinking, "they hurt me," try, "this is an opportunity to practice patience and calm." Changing your perspective transforms anger into a learning experience and reduces its emotional grip. Another tip is journaling your feelings. Write down what happened, how it made you feel, and why it doesn't serve you to stay angry. Writing acts as a release and helps you mentally detach from the situation. Finally, practice small acts of forgiveness daily. Even in minor conflicts, choose to let go and focus on your peace of mind. Over time, this habit strengthens your resilience, making it far harder for anyone to bother or provoke you. Another essential step to avoid getting angry or bothered is setting healthy boundaries. When you clearly define what behavior is acceptable and what is not, you protect your peace and reduce opportunities for frustration. Start by identifying your limits. Know what triggers irritation and which situations or behaviors make you uncomfortable. Understanding your personal boundaries allows you to act proactively rather than reactively. Next, communicate your boundaries calmly and clearly. For example, you can say, "I prefer not to discuss this topic," or "Please don't interrupt me while I'm working." Confidently expressing your limits helps others respect you and reduces emotional stress. Another tip is to enforce boundaries consistently. If someone crosses a line, respond in a composed manner instead of ignoring it or reacting angrily. Consistency reinforces your expectations and prevents repeated provocations. Finally, understand that boundaries are for your well-being. They are not selfish, they are necessary for maintaining peace of mind. With healthy boundaries, you can interact with others calmly and avoid unnecessary anger or frustration. Patience is one of the most powerful tools for never getting angry. People who remain calm under pressure don't necessarily have fewer frustrations. They simply respond with patience rather than reacting impulsively. Recognize situations that test your patience, like long queues, traffic, or delays. Instead of letting irritation build, remind yourself that these situations are temporary and beyond your control. Shifting your focus reduces emotional reactions. Next, practice delayed responses. When you feel anger rising, pause before responding. Take a few deep breaths or count to 10. This brief delay allows rational thinking to guide your response rather than letting emotions dictate your actions. Another technique is reframing frustration as a lesson. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? This mindset shifts your energy from annoyance to growth, making challenges feel less personal and more manageable. Finally, cultivate long-term patience through consistent practice. Small daily exercises like waiting calmly for your coffee or taking a slow, mindful walk strengthen your ability to stay composed in bigger, more stressful situations. Over time, patience becomes a natural response, helping you stay unbothered by anyone. Gratitude is a powerful emotional tool that helps reduce anger and irritation. When you focus on what you have instead of what frustrates you, your mind naturally shifts from negativity to positivity, making it harder for others to bother you. Start by writing down 3 things you are grateful for each day. They can be small, like a sunny morning, a kind gesture, or a delicious meal. Focusing on these positives trains your brain to see life through a lens of appreciation rather than frustration. Next, practice gratitude in the moment. When something triggers anger, consciously think of one thing you are grateful for in that situation. For example, if someone cuts in line, remind yourself, at least I have time to enjoy a quiet moment before work. This mental shift reduces emotional intensity. Another tip is to express gratitude to others. Thank colleagues, friends, or family for small acts of kindness. Gratitude fosters connection, reduces conflict, and strengthens your emotional resilience, making it easier to stay calm even in challenging interactions. Finally, integrate gratitude into daily mindfulness or meditation practice. By consistently focusing on positive aspects of your life, you build a mindset that naturally resists anger and annoyance, helping you remain peaceful and unbothered by anyone. Many times, anger arises because we try to control situations or other people. Accepting that you cannot control everything is a crucial step toward remaining calm and unbothered. Start by identifying areas where you try to exert unnecessary control. It could be colleagues' behavior, family decisions, or even traffic. Recognize that your energy is better spent on what you can influence rather than what is beyond your reach. Next, practice acceptance. When things don't go your way, remind yourself, I cannot control this, but I can control my reaction. This shift reduces frustration and empowers you to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. Another tip is to focus on solutions, not problems. Instead of being angry at the circumstances, ask yourself, what can I do to improve or adapt? Shifting from complaint to action strengthens your sense of agency and prevents anger from dominating your mind. Finally, embrace flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and rigid expectations often lead to irritation. By learning to adapt and flow with situations, you create mental space for calmness and emotional resilience, making it far easier to stay unbothered by others. Humor is an excellent tool to stay calm and prevent anger from taking over. Finding something funny or lighthearted in a frustrating situation helps you distance yourself emotionally and see things from a more relaxed perspective. Start by not taking things personally. When someone irritates you, ask yourself, is this worth getting upset over? If it's minor, try to find the humor in it. Laughing mentally at the absurdity of a situation diffuses tension immediately. Next, use self-deprecating humor. Instead of being angry at yourself for getting frustrated, joke about it lightly. Well, I guess patience isn't my superpower today. This approach reduces self-criticism and reminds you that anger is optional. Another tip is to share light humor with others. A well-timed joke or playful comment can transform a tense situation into a positive one. It not only calms you, but also influences the emotional tone of the interaction. Finally, remember that humor doesn't mean ignoring serious issues. It's about choosing emotional balance and perspective. When you practice using humor regularly, it becomes a natural tool to stay calm, unbothered, and emotionally resilient in daily life. A key way to never get angry is to shift your focus from problems to solutions. Anger often stems from dwelling on what's wrong, while focusing on actionable steps empowers you and reduces emotional turmoil. Start by identifying what you can control in any frustrating situation. Instead of ruminating on someone's rude behavior or a delay, ask yourself, what steps can I take to improve this or respond calmly? Taking action redirects energy from anger to productivity. Next, practice problem solving under calm conditions. When a challenge arises, pause, breathe, and outline possible solutions. Even if the outcome isn't perfect, this structured approach prevents reactive anger and strengthens your sense of competence.
Another tip is to write down options and prioritize actions. Seeing a plan on paper reduces mental chaos and clears space for rational thinking. It also prevents small frustrations from escalating into unnecessary anger. Finally, adopt a solution-oriented mindset as a habit. Train yourself to look for constructive outcomes in every challenge. Over time, this approach rewires your emotional responses, making you naturally calm, composed, and unbothered no matter the situation. Sometimes, the most powerful way to avoid anger is simply to walk away. Not every situation needs a response, and knowing when to disengage protects your peace of mind. Start by recognizing escalating situations. If a conversation or conflict begins to trigger strong irritation, remind yourself, I can choose not to engage right now. This mindset shift prevents reactive anger from taking control. Next, practice calmly removing yourself from tense moments. You can step outside, take a short walk, or pause the conversation politely. For example, say, let's continue this later, and use the break to regain composure. Walking away is not weakness, it's a sign of emotional strength. Another tip is to set limits on exposure to negative influences. Avoid unnecessary interactions with people or situations that consistently disturb your calm. Prioritize your emotional well-being and choose peace over conflict. Finally, combine walking away with reflection. After disengaging, analyze what triggered your irritation and how you handled it. This practice strengthens emotional resilience and gradually trains your mind to remain unbothered even in challenging situations. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful ways to release anger and emotional baggage. Holding on to resentment keeps you trapped in negative emotions, while forgiving others frees your mind and strengthens your inner peace. Start by understanding what forgiveness really means. It's not about excusing bad behavior or forgetting what happened. It's about choosing not to let it control your emotions. Forgiveness is a gift to yourself, allowing you to move forward without anger. Next, practice empathy. Try to see things from the other person's perspective. Often, people act out of stress, ignorance, or personal struggles. Recognizing this reduces personal offense and makes forgiveness easier. Another technique is writing a forgiveness letter, even if you don't send it. Express your feelings honestly, then mentally release them. This act allows your mind to let go of lingering irritation and strengthens emotional control. Finally, integrate forgiveness into daily life. Start with small grievances, like someone cutting in line or a colleague being rude. Gradually, you'll build the habit of responding with calmness rather than anger. Over time, forgiveness becomes natural, making it far easier to remain unbothered and emotionally resilient. Emotional resilience is the ability to stay calm and composed under pressure, no matter what others do. People who never get angry easily have trained their minds to handle stress and frustration without reacting impulsively. Reduce noise. Start by building self-confidence. When you believe in your ability to handle situations calmly, provocations and challenges are less likely to upset you. Remind yourself daily, I can manage this calmly. Next, practice exposure to small stressors in a controlled way. For example, intentionally deal with minor annoyances like traffic delays or long lines, and consciously respond without irritation. Over time, your resilience grows, preparing you for bigger challenges. Another technique is developing coping strategies. Deep breathing, mindfulness, positive self-talk, or walking away are all ways to maintain composure. Have a few go-to strategies ready for stressful situations to prevent anger from taking over. Finally, reflect on past successes. Remember times when you stayed calm despite frustration. This reflection reinforces your ability to manage emotions and builds confidence that you can remain unbothered in the future. Emotional resilience is not innate. It is practiced and strengthened over time. People often test our patience, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Learning to stay calm around difficult individuals is crucial to never getting angry or bothered. Patience allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Start by reminding yourself that everyone has their own struggles. Someone's rudeness or mistakes may not be about you at all. It could be stress, fatigue, or personal challenges. This perspective reduces personal offense and softens your emotional reaction. Next, practice deep listening. When someone irritates you, listen carefully to their words instead of immediately reacting. Often, misunderstandings fuel anger, and listening fully can clarify intentions and reduce frustration. Another technique is setting realistic expectations. Accept that people will sometimes act inconsistently, make mistakes, or challenge you. By expecting imperfection, you prevent anger from arising when things don't go your way. Finally, use patience as a conscious practice. During interactions, silently count, breathe, or remind yourself, I choose calm. Over time, this habit strengthens your emotional control, allowing you to remain composed, unbothered, and confident in all social situations. A calm and structured daily routine strengthens your mind and reduces the likelihood of getting angry or bothered. When your day is organized and you prioritize self-care, your emotional energy remains balanced and resilient. Start by allocating time for relaxation and mindfulness. Even 10 to 15 minutes of meditation, deep breathing,
or a quiet walk can stabilize your emotions and prepare you to handle stress calmly. Next, incorporate physical activity. Exercise releases endorphins, which improve mood and reduce irritability. Whether it's a morning jog, yoga, or simple stretching, movement strengthens both body and mind, making anger less likely to arise. Another tip is maintaining healthy habits like proper sleep, balanced nutrition, and hydration. Fatigue and poor diet amplify irritability, while a healthy lifestyle creates a foundation for emotional control and resilience. Finally, plan your day realistically. Avoid overcommitting or rushing through tasks. Give yourself time for transitions, breaks, and reflection. A well-paced day reduces stress, keeps your mind clear, and allows you to respond calmly rather than react impulsively to challenges. Now that we've explored mindset, self-awareness, mindfulness, emotional detachment, patience, forgiveness, and daily routines, it's time to bring everything together to never get angry or bothered by anyone. True emotional control comes from combining these strategies consistently in daily life.
Start by preparing mentally each day. Use positive self-talk. Remind yourself of your ability to stay calm and visualize peaceful responses to challenging situations. This sets a strong foundation for composure. Next, practice proactive techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, and solution-focused thinking. Use these tools whenever you feel irritation arising. Over time, they become natural habits that prevent anger from escalating. Also, maintain healthy boundaries and routines. Set limits on interactions that drain you. Prioritize self-care and structure your day to reduce unnecessary stress. Emotional resilience grows when your life is balanced and intentional. Finally, remember that staying calm is a continuous journey, not a one-time achievement. Some situations will still test your patience, but with self-awareness, mindfulness, and consistent practice, you will respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. Over time, you will naturally remain peaceful, unbothered, and confident no matter what challenges or provocations come your way. Thank you so much for watching. If you found these tips helpful, please subscribe to Whispered Tales for more guidance on personal growth, emotional mastery, and improving your English skills. Next time, we'll bring you another exciting topic to help you stay calm, confident, and empowered in every aspect of life. Stay tuned and keep practicing.